In the early hours of the morning, we got our first look at Series X gameplay, and unfortunately, the show was a bit of a mess. It was an Inside Xbox show, and they did show off some cool stuff. They advertised it as a Series X gameplay reveal event, but they didn't really show much gameplay. We started off with something really cool and hectic, Bright Memory Infinite. It's a game made by one developer. I think it's currently on Steam, but it looks really cool. It's kind of like, I think, being pushed as a almost DMC style shooter, first person shooter with a lot of traversal, wall running, grappling hook, bit of stylish action shooting, which looks kind of cool. The fact that it's made by one guy is just incredible. It looked like it had some amazing weather effects and stuff like that. So that was a cool way to start the show. Looked pretty impressive. It is on Steam at the moment anyway, so you can see a bit more of a, realistic interpretation of what it actually plays like. Next up, we saw Dirt 5 be announced, which again looks good. I didn't really get the whole next gen vibe from a lot of these, and yes, okay, first of all, most of these are going to be on current gen platforms as well. A lot of them are supporting smart delivery, which is fantastic. Dirt 5 also, they did reveal in an interview with one of the developers that it will support 120 frames per second, which is awesome. And I think what would have been much better is to focus on these kind of things and show a bit of actual gameplay, not just a trailer for a couple of minutes and bombard you with information. As an Inside Xbox show, it was actually quite short. Usually, it was around an hour, but what they showed in the way of trailers was one after another, and it was really fast, a little bit hectic. I'm not sure it gave off the message that Xbox exactly wanted it to. Next up, though, we had Scorn, which is a very H.R. Geiger-inspired horror game. Again, I think this is already on PC. Graphically, it looked brilliant. Not my kind of thing. I don't really do horror very much, so as pretty as it was, well, pretty is probably the wrong word, but as graphically impressive as it was, we didn't, again, see gameplay. It was very much just a trailer. It may be indicative of the final product, but we shall see. Then we got an announcement trailer for Chorus, which I think looks very impressive. The facial animations, the graphics, the color palette, it all looked great. Just looking on Xbox Wire, there's a little bit of an article about it. Deep Silver is publishing the game, and it is being supported on smart delivery as well, but they're really pushing graphical advances that it has with Series X. A little bit of a write-up from the website. It says, in Chorus, players take control of dual protagonists, ex-cultist Nara, an ace pilot with a haunted past, and Forsaken, a sentient all-star fighter and her closest ally, with a mysterious backstory of his own to unravel. This story-driven single-player experience invites gamers to unlock devastating weapons and mind-bending abilities as they fight to free the galaxy from the Circle, an oppressive cult that will stop at nothing to ensure complete subjugation. From the beginning, our focus has been on delivering amazing minute-to-minute gameplay to evolve the spirit of classic spaceflight shooters. We are fully leveraging the power of Xbox Series X hardware, allowing us to create richer and more detailed ray-traced environments, all at 4K and 60 frames per second. We saw a bit of what could be described as actual gameplay. It still was very much a trailer, it was still very much a cinematically filmed gameplay-esque trailer, but I think this game looks really cool. One thing I must say about this whole gameplay reveal was the sheer abundance of new IP, and if you listened to Controllers and Coffee last week with my friend Kat, we did speak about a couple of big names that we wanted to see, which we didn't, and fair enough, it was a very quick show. We also spoke about how seeing new IP is something we both really wanted, and I think getting all these new IP out there from, these aren't necessarily the big AAA publishers. Deep Silver, they're more of a kind of a AA publisher. This is cool. I like the fact that these publishers and these developers are kind of making these beautiful games and being able to support things like ray tracing, 4K 60 on the Series X. And I think it's exciting to see new IP. We don't know what these games exactly will be. We don't know if they could end up being something massive in the future. But hey, I'm glad we saw new IP. That's what I must say. As much as this was a little bit of a letdown, New IP, I'm all about it. Then we saw another cinematic somewhat trailer for Bloodlines 2. We still haven't got a release date, but it was very cool, very creepy, if I don't say so myself. But again, it looks great. Graphically, it looks wonderful. I can't wait to get stuck into this game. If you saw my video from a couple of weeks ago, you know that this is a game I'm very excited about, even coming this gen, looking like it could be a launch window title. Potentially with the coronavirus going on and all this, they've pushed back development to get it, complete, and it may be out for launch. We shall see. We don't have a release date yet. Meant to be 2020. We'll see. After that, we had a very pretty game called Call of the Sea, which is apparently a first-person action-adventure puzzle game set in the 1930s that tells the story of Nora, a woman on the trail of her missing husband's expedition. The search takes place on a strange but beautiful island in the South Pacific, filled with secrets waiting to be unearthed. It is an otherworldly tale of mystery, adventure, and self-discovery. This game looks beautiful. Very much almost a Sea of Thieves-esque art style, stunning water graphics, stunning color palette. This thing was beautiful. Again, optimized for Series X. They're saying 4K, 60 frames, and smart delivery again. Very cool. Then we had The Ascent, which graphically I thought was very highly detailed. This was something that really stood out to me with this trailer was just the level of details in these environments. This is an ARPG, very much isometric camera. They're saying The Ascent is a solo and co-op action RPG set in a cyberpunk world. The mega corporation that owns you and everyone, the Ascent Group, has just collapsed. Confusion and chaos ensue. Security and order are in disarray, and without protection, everyone is left to fend for themselves. Stop gangs and hostile corporations from taking over and discover what really happened. Again, very cool. It's going to be on both platforms. It's going to be supported with smart delivery. Very, impressive graphically, and just the level of detail and all the background art was crazy detailed. Very cool. I think that has some potential if it has a good story, and if the co-op and the RPG side of things is really in depth. Nice. It's always good to have an action RPG on console. Then we saw The Medium, which has gotten quite a lot of talk online from Bloober Team, the people who made the Blair Witch game. This is looking like it will be a launch title. Apparently it's coming holiday 2020, so you would assume at the launch of the new console. And it's coming to PC and Xbox Series X. So it looks like this isn't coming to Xbox One. Because it's not a first-party game, and Xbox has said first parties are supporting both consoles for every title for the next kind of year to 2 years, this looks like it is PC and Series X only, which is awesome. The music is being composed by Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka. Again, horror, there was a lot of horror, and it did look very cool. A little bit of a write-up to that is become a medium living in two different worlds, the real one and the spirit one. Haunted by the vision of a child's murder, you travel to an abandoned hotel resort, which many years ago became the stage of an unthinkable tragedy. There you begin to search for difficult answers. As a medium with access to both worlds, you have a wider perspective and can see more clearly that there's no one simple truth to what others perceive. Nothing is what it seems, everything has another side. Blair Witch got mixed reviews. We'll see how Medium goes. Next one is the game that really impressed me the most. This is Scarlet Nexus from Bandai Namco. This looks like a stylish action game in every sense of the word. Almost had a very Astral Chain vibe to it in a lot of ways, with the art style and the kind of anime aesthetic. If we look at Bandai's website, it says, in a far distant future, a psionic hormone was discovered in the human brain, granting people extrasensory powers and changing the world as we know it. Just as humanity was entering this new era, deranged mutants known as the Others began to descend from the sky with a thirst for human brains. Highly resistant to conventional attack methods, extreme measures needed to be taken to battle the overwhelming threat and preserve humanity. Those with acute extrasensory abilities known as psionics were our chance to fight the onslaught from above. To this day, psionics have been scouted for their talents and recruited to the Other Suppression Force, humanity's last line of defense. Take on the role of Yuito Samuragi, a new recruit to the OSF, aiming to become an elite psionic like the ones who saved him as a child. armed with a talent in psychokinesis, explore the futuristic city of New Himuka and uncover the mysteries of a brain-punk future caught between technology and psychic abilities. This looks mad. Definitely recommend going and checking out the trailer. I recommend going and checking out all these trailers, but this one was very, very cool. It looks like this one is potentially only on Xbox as well, but we shall see, and we'll get back into that in a minute. We also saw a title called Second Extinction, which I thought for a minute was just going to be like a new Turok game. It's a co-op shooter where you're killing dinosaurs. Cool. I'm all about it. Another game that looks like it's set to come to PC, Xbox One, and Series X with smart delivery enabled, and it's created by a studio called Systemic Reaction, who are apparently a division of Avalanche Studios. The website says key features are intense 3-player co-op. Earth is overrun by mutated dinosaurs. Team up with up to 2 other resistance fighters to take it back in short but intense combat operations. Battle mutated monstrosities. These dinos are nothing like the ones in your history books. From electric raptors to behemoth T-Rexes that tower over the horizon, these deadly creatures have evolved into the ultimate killing machines. Experience spectacular action. Combine your fire team's unique weapons and abilities for explosive results against overwhelming opposition in challenging combat set pieces. And take part in a joint effort. Your actions, together with the rest of the community, will shape the course of the war against the dinosaurs. Pretty cool. It looks good. I'm all for shooting some dinos with my friends. Almost for the end of the show, we got a look at Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is already available on PlayStation in Japan, and it's apparently coming out on Xbox Series X and Windows 10 on release day, which is pretty awesome. It also supports smart delivery. This is a bit of a change for the series. It is changing it entirely from an action game to turn-based kind of RPG. I've never played the Yakuza series. I know Zero and Kiwami are on Game Pass now, so it's definitely something I want to jump into. But this is kind of a starting the story again, a kind of a reboot and a complete overhaul of the combat system. So awesome. There's a lot of these Japanese connections happening now with Xbox, which I think is awesome. Xbox needs that market to kind of grow its platform. This could be great. I think it's an awesome sign. We also got in there somewhere along the way, which I didn't even mention or write down, Madden. Great, whatever, I'm not interested at all. And we saw about 3 frames of actual Madden 21 or whatever it's called. Whatever, who cares? And finally we saw probably the most controversial part of the show, the most anticipated yet most disappointing part of the show, which was Assassin's Creed gameplay for Valhalla. Yes, it showed cinematically filmed clips that I'm guessing were taken from actual gameplay, but we didn't see gameplay, and that was the biggest disappointment with this entire show, was the lack of actual gameplay. Would have been nice to see just a HUD, you know, like, so you know it was coming from the game. There were shots in Yakuza that looked like they were taken from gameplay as well, and the Ascent, which were straight up gameplay. A little bit in Scarlet Nexus as well, which you could tell was that stylish action gameplay too. But there wasn't enough of that, and I think if they're going to label this as a gameplay reveal, they need to make more of a point to show actual gameplay. It was a bit disappointing, but we got to see some cool new IP, a little bit more of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but nothing really exciting. The fact that, yeah, they pitched it as a gameplay trailer is a bit disappointing. Assassin's Creed used to be so good at making gameplay reveals, right? Where they would sit down and go through a mission or something like that, have the developers talk you through what was going on and, you know, all the systems in the game. It would have been cool to hear developers talk about what the benefits of the Series X version were, or how they're implementing ray tracing or VRS or all this stuff, but it wasn't quite what we expected. You know, we're gamers, we expect a lot and we usually get let down. But I just wanted to bring up Clobril, who is an Xbox insider who's always coming out with great knowledge of Xbox game studios. He did post this morning stuff that went a bit under the radar. The Medium by Bloober Team is an Xbox console exclusive, ray tracing on Series X, launching into Game Pass. Scorn is an Xbox console exclusive, launching onto Game Pass. Call of the Sea is an Xbox console exclusive, launching onto Game Pass as well. The Ascent is an Xbox console exclusive. Yakuza Like a Dragon launches day one on Xbox Series X, which we already spoke about. The website for Scarlet Nexus by Bandai Namco somehow only shows Xbox logos And like I said before, Dirt 5 will have 120 frames per second mode on Series X. He says, this is a collection of info gathered from the Inside Xbox episode and the individual game websites. I guess most of these will come to other platforms later, so we are either looking at timed exclusives or simply marketing errors. Either way, good stuff coming to Game Pass. And that's it. Like, because this was so rushed, because this was such a, fast, one after the other presentation, they showed Game Pass logos, they showed, they didn't really even say console exclusive or anything like that. They should have focused more on that. People want exclusives on Xbox. And yeah, when we talk about exclusives on Xbox now, we are talking about console exclusives, also available on PC. But that's just what the Xbox platform is, right? Even though there was mixed messaging or poor messaging in a lot of situations, and even though it wasn't exactly what we wanted from that Series X gameplay reveal, there were some cool things there. I think Scarlet Nexus looks brilliant. I'm really excited about Bloodlines 2. And overall, it was a third-party event. There was a little bit too much hype around it. I myself am guilty of getting hyped around these kind of events as well. But we did get Aaron Greenberg saying, after he did a hilarious Xbox fridge joke and had the fridge behind him, embracing the meme, he did make a statement that there is going to be a Series X first party Xbox Game Studios event happening in July. So that's going to be huge. According to Xbox, we're going to see more of Halo Infinite. We're going to see what Obsidian's working on, and we're going to see some more cool stuff from first parties. So that's my wrap up of the Series X gameplay reveal. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. It was a bit of a mixed bag. We did see some cool IP though. It's always cool to see new stuff. It'll be great when we actually start seeing demos of these games and gameplay chunks and stuff like that. That's a bit more in depth rather than just a 2-minute trailer. But it's what we got. Xbox have said they're going to be announcing stuff each month, showing new games, showing off the Series X all the way leading up to launch. So June, we don't know what's going on. Summer Game Fest is on, so there's trailers and stuff all around. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know what you think of these kind of off-the-cuff videos too. Let me know any areas you would like to see improvement in, and subscribe down below. Hit that bell if you want to know exactly when I've uploaded a video. Follow me over on Twitter at Direckt Gaming too, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great weekend, people. Peace.